You have been lied to your entire life. Every time someone called you lazy, every time you called yourself lazy, it was the wrong diagnosis. A doctor who misdiagnoses the illness cannot cure the patient. And for years, maybe decades, you have been treating the wrong thing. You are not lazy. You never were. What you are is untrained. There is a profound difference between a mind that will not move and a mind that has never been taught how to move. One is a character flaw. The other is simply an education that hasn't happened yet. The samurai understood this. In feudal Japan, no warrior was born disciplined. Discipline was not a personality trait. It was not something you either had or you didn't. It was a skill, learned, practiced, earned. And today, right now, we are going to learn it together. This is not a motivational video that leaves you feeling good for 20 minutes before everything goes back to normal. What we are building today is a framework, a system. The same system that turned ordinary young men into legendary warriors. Stay with me for the next 22 minutes. What you learn here could change the next 22 years. Let us begin with the truth about laziness. Modern culture treats laziness as a moral failure, a sign of weakness, something to be ashamed of. And that shame, that guilt, is actually one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck. Because shame does not motivate. Shame paralyzes. When human beings feel shame about a behavior, they are less likely to change it. Shame causes avoidance, and avoidance looks exactly like what we call laziness. So the first thing we need to do is completely reframe what we are dealing with. Laziness is not a character deficiency. It is the natural default state of an untrained nervous system. Your brain is designed above all else for one thing: conservation of energy. For 99% of human history, doing less was smart. Conserving energy was survival. Your brain is not broken. It is doing exactly what it was designed to do. The problem is that the world has changed. The challenges of the modern era require sustained, deliberate, uncomfortable effort of a kind your nervous system was never naturally prepared for. Nobody becomes a warrior by accident. It requires training. The samurai didn't wait to feel motivated. He trained when it was cold. He trained when he was exhausted. He trained when every cell in his body told him to stop. Not because he was superhuman, but because he had been taught something most people will never learn. That the feeling of not wanting to do something, that resistance, is not a signal to stop. It is the beginning of the training itself. The resistance is the workout. You are not lazy. You are undertrained, and the training starts now. The warrior's mind operates on 3 levels. Level 1, the reactive mind. This is the mind most people live in. It responds to feelings. When it feels like doing something, it does it. When it doesn't, it doesn't. The reactive mind is a slave to its own feelings. We are all born here. The question is whether we stay here. Level 2, the disciplined mind. This is the mind that has learned to act in spite of its feelings. It still feels resistance. It still hears the voice that says, "Not today." The difference is that it has built a pause, a gap, between the feeling and the response. In that gap lives choice. The samurai called this mushin, no reactive thought, the ability to act from training rather than impulse. Level 3, the mastered mind. At this level, the trained response has become the automatic one. The warrior doesn't push through resistance to begin his practice. Beginning is his natural response. These people are not wired differently. They have simply trained longer. Now here is the critical question. How do you move from level 1 to level 2? The answer is not willpower. Willpower is a resource. It depletes. By the end of a hard day, that pool is nearly empty. This is why even the most disciplined people make poor choices when they are tired. The samurai did not rely on willpower. He built systems, habits so deeply embedded through repetition that they required no willpower at all. Because they were no longer choices. They were simply what he did. This is the secret. You do not overcome laziness through heroic acts of willpower. You overcome it by designing a life in which the lazy choice becomes the harder one. Make the right behavior the path of least resistance, and your brain, perfectly designed to take that path, takes it. In the ancient warrior traditions, knowing your enemy was considered more important than knowing your weapons. So let us name yours. Enemy 1. Ambiguity. The number one cause of procrastination is not knowing exactly what to do next. Vague goals produce vague action. Identify the very next physical action. Not work on my project. Open the document. Put on the shoes. Pick up the sword. Specificity kills ambiguity. Ambiguity kills action. Enemy 2. Overwhelm. When the brain cannot see a path from here to a massive goal, it shuts down. The samurai practiced Kaizen. Tiny steps, every day. Break every goal into steps so small the first one takes less than 2 minutes. The wall is not a wall if you approach it one brick at a time. Enemy 3. Fear of failure. This enemy disguises itself as perfectionism, as preparation, as waiting for the right moment. In the warrior's philosophy, failure was not the opposite of success. It was the path to it. You are not failing. You are training. You will never be ready. Start anyway. Enemy 4. Depletion. You cannot train a depleted system. A brain on 5 hours of sleep makes decisions like a mildly intoxicated person. The warrior's pre-dawn cold water, careful diet, and strict sleep were not luxuries. They were the foundation. You cannot build discipline on a depleted body. Enemy 5. Environment. Your environment is not neutral. Every notification on your phone is pulling you toward your goals or away from them. Remove the phone from where you work. Put your training clothes next to your bed. Make the right action the first thing your eyes see each morning. You are not fighting your laziness. You are redesigning your environment so laziness has nowhere to hide. Here is your 7-day warrior protocol. 7 days is not enough to master discipline, but it is enough to prove to yourself you are capable of it. Day 1 and 2. The single promise. Choose one thing you will do every single day, small enough that there is no excuse. 5 minutes of movement, 1 page of reading. The size does not matter. The consistency does. Day 3 and 4. The morning claim. Add one thing to the beginning of your day before your phone reaches you. 10 minutes of silence, a short walk, 3 written intentions. Own your first 15 minutes. Day 5. The environment audit. Walk through your space. Remove every object that pulls you away from who you are becoming. Delete 3 apps. Put what you need to do tomorrow where you will see it first. Day 6. The hard conversation. Do the one thing you have been avoiding. Not perfectly, just begin it. The warrior's greatest victory is always the one over his own avoidance. Day 7. The review. Ask yourself 3 things. What did I do that I said I would? What did I learn about where my resistance lives? What will I carry into week 2? 7 days, 1 promise, kept 7 times. That is the beginning of a warrior. The samurai did not become legendary by training perfectly. He became legendary by training consistently, through cold mornings and painful sessions and days when everything inside him said stop. That is the only secret. Not talent, not willpower, not motivation. Consistency. In spite of everything. You are not lazy. You never were. You are a mind that has not yet been given the right training. And now, you have it. The sword is in your hand. The dojo is wherever you are right now. The training starts the moment you decide it does. Subscribe, because next week we go deeper. The warrior's path does not end here. It starts here. See you on the other side.